Oh, I see the movie already. Smirk. Alright, here's a full cinematic short story with drama, pacing, character depth, and a satisfying payoff. Buckle up. Female millionaire mocked a poor mechanic. 30 engineers failed, he fixed her Ferrari. The Ferrari showroom on Sunset Boulevard looked more like a museum than a place of business. White marble floors reflected the overhead lights like a calm lake, and every car sat on its platform as if it were royalty awaiting applause. Victoria Hale expected applause. She stepped inside wearing a tailored charcoal suit and heels sharp enough to cut glass. At 34, she was already a self-made millionaire, tech startup money, clean exits, ruthless decisions. Her name carried weight in boardrooms and headlines. Today, though, her pride sat on a raised platform under a silk cover. Her Ferrari F8 Tributo. Or rather, her broken Ferrari. 30 engineers had tried. 30 of the best minds Ferrari North America could fly in. Each one had failed. The car wouldn't start. Worse, it wouldn't even communicate. The onboard system was locked in a loop, rejecting overrides, refusing diagnostics. A machine that cost over $300,000 had turned into a very expensive statue. Victoria stood with her arms crossed as the head showroom manager wiped sweat from his brow. "We've exhausted every authorized solution," he said carefully. "At this point, Ferrari Italy recommends replacing the entire system." "And how long would that take?" Victoria asked, her voice calm but icy. 6, maybe 8 months. She laughed. Loud, sharp, it echoed through the showroom. 8 months, she repeated. "For a car I bought to drive, not admire." That's when she noticed him. He stood near the entrance, half hidden behind a velvet rope. Grease-stained jacket, old boots, a baseball cap pulled low. He looked wildly out of place among the polished suits and spotless floors. He raised a hand slightly. Hesitant. He said, "I think I can fix it." Silence. Victoria turned slowly, eyes scanning him from head to toe. Then she smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. "And you are?" she asked. "Name's Jack," he said. "I run a small shop out in Riverside. Mostly rebuilds, older engines, custom jobs." A chuckle rippled through the room. One of the engineers actually snorted. Victoria tilted her head. "Let me get this straight. 30 Ferrari certified engineers couldn't fix my car, but you, a roadside mechanic, think you can." Jack shrugged. "Not saying I know I can. Just saying I see something they might have missed." Her smile widened. "This isn't a charity case. And this," she gestured at the Ferrari, "isn't a lawnmower." Jack nodded, unfazed. "Fair enough." He turned to leave. Something stopped her. Maybe it was the lack of defensiveness. Or the way he didn't look embarrassed, just realistic. "Wait," she said. "If I let you try and you fail, you walk out and never come back." "That's fine. And if you succeed?" Jack thought for a moment. "Then you admit you were wrong." The room went still. Victoria laughed again, but this time, there was curiosity mixed in. "You've got 1 hour," she said. "Don't scratch the paint." Jack didn't ask for tools. He didn't plug in a laptop. He just circled the car slowly, hand resting lightly on the body, like a doctor reading a pulse. He opened the hood, listened. He frowned. "Who updated the firmware last?" he asked. One engineer raised his hand. "The system auto-updated when it was shipped." Jack nodded. "That's the problem." Victoria crossed her arms tighter. "You're telling me Ferrari's own software broke its own car?" "Not broke," Jack said. "Conflicted." He explained as he worked, voice calm, almost conversational. The Ferrari's system was too perfect. The update assumed ideal operating conditions, factory calibration, pristine sensors, zero variance. But this car had been test-driven hard. Minor sensor drift, microscopic imbalance. The system rejected itself. Like an immune system attacking its own body, Jack said. He pulled a small device from his pocket, old, scratched, homemade looking. One engineer scoffed. "That's not authorized equipment." Jack smiled. "Good." He bypassed the diagnostic loop, not by forcing it, but by listening to it. Reading raw signals instead of polished data. Adjusting tolerances manually. 30 minutes passed. The showroom staff leaned in. Victoria said nothing. Jack closed the hood, wiped his hands on his jacket. "Try it now." Victoria hesitated, then slid into the driver's seat. She pressed the ignition. The engine roared to life. Perfect, smooth, alive. For the first time that day, Victoria didn't smile. She stared at the dashboard, then at Jack. "How?" she asked quietly. Jack shrugged again. "I fix things people love. You don't do that by following manuals." You do it by understanding why something wants to work. The engineers stood frozen. Victoria stepped out of the car. The silence stretched. Then she laughed, softly this time. You know, she said, I laughed at you when you walked in. Jack met her eyes. Yeah, I noticed. I was wrong. She extended her hand. Name your price. Jack shook his head. Already got what I wanted. She paused. Which was? You admitted it. Victoria studied him for a long moment. Then she smiled, genuinely. How would you feel about consulting? She asked. Not for Ferrari. For me. Jack raised an eyebrow. I'm launching an automotive tech division, she continued. High-performance systems that actually respect real-world conditions. I could use someone who doesn't laugh at grease. He considered it. Only if I can wear this jacket, he said. She laughed. Deal. As Jack walked out of the showroom, the Ferrari's engine echoed behind him, no longer silent, no longer perfect. Just real. And for the first time in a long time, so was Victoria Hale. If you want, I can. Make it darker and more ruthless. Add a romantic slow burn. Turn it into a YouTube narration script. Expand it to 2,500 plus words with backstory and twists. Just tell me the vibe relieved face 1500.